It originally was a research farm for Tennessee Tech University. What happened was that a fella and his wife inherited the farm from his wife's parents. It was not Milan, it was Kermit Lefevre Farm. It was just an old hog farm that had been abandoned, basically. And so the farm got started by Gary and Brenda Waters approaching university, and then we began to do research and bring students in and had some graduate degree work done on the farm at that time.
I worked at Waters for a few years, and that's how I kind of got into it. It was never an ag major or anything, but I just kind of, that's the work that I love to do, being outside and, you know, working every day with my hands and stuff. It's a really good, fulfilling kind of work.
I'd say probably my inspiration was like 3 or 4 years ago, probably about 4 years ago when I started, I worked a seasonal job in Alaska for a summer job, and really cool community up there, so they had community gardens, and I decided to get my own plot one summer, and I found that very rewarding to grow my own food. So.
University system-wise, organic farming is becoming much more mainstream. And so it was organic research. We looked at compost rates and cover cropping and season extension, and we did a lot of different kinds of research, as much as we possibly could, under a Tennessee Department of Agriculture grant that Dr. Kim Stearman had written.
We compost at the farm. We've got a pretty good sized compost production. Right now we're not using our own compost right now. We're kind of letting it build up and get to the point where we can use it. But we try to use everything from the farm, old plants, you know, tomatoes, any produce that we might have extra that goes into the compost pile. And so that's, I mean, compost is a humongous part of organic farming. You have to build up the soil. The soil is basically key to the success of your farm. So
I would kind of describe sustainable agriculture as something that is good for the earth, you know, something that's not going to be harmful. It's going to prevent, you know, just useless land that's going to be taking up space, basically. And I'd also say part of it is growing healthy food, you know, for people. That, you know, you don't want to be growing a product that's poisoned with, you know, toxic things. So.
CSA is community supported agriculture, and you get a weekly produce box every for a certain number of weeks. So yeah, we had a fall, winter, and spring CSA, and that's a really positive way to kind of sell your produce, because the farmer, you know, gets paid up front, and then you deliver food to people throughout the few weeks that it is, and so it works well for both parties, the farmer and the customer. So right now we've got sweet potatoes, corn, tomatoes, okra, things like that. A lot of summertime things. Some interesting things that we grow are different in the summertime. We do lettuce. We make sure we have shade over it. We have lettuce in the wintertime. We have shiitake mushrooms that we had spawned a long time ago when we were with Tech. We put shiitake spawn in these logs, and we're still getting that actually on a regular basis. We actually just finished our strawberries. Our strawberries just kind of went down, but we're taking cuttings from them and going to replant those in the fall. So strawberries are a really good crop for us.
The thing that we really want to do is educate the public on the value of sustainable agriculture and organic agriculture. We want people to see that locally produced foods are really healthy and tasty and better for you and better for the local economy.
I think well, organic farming in this area is a really important thing, and I think Waters Farm can help with that. There's a number of other farms that do grow, and I think, you know, the more awareness we can raise with it, the better for all of us, all the farms, you know. So at the farmers market, there's several local growers that good friends of mine and stuff, and you know, if they do well, we do well, and vice versa. So it's just kind of building on each other of, raising awareness for local foods, and then organic, on top of that is even better.
I think it's pretty rewarding. People should know, when you see where your food comes from and you see how it's grown, and even if you get the chance to work like I have in producing it, and just know that that's what you're putting in your body, and that's what farms are employing people, and they should be run well, and if you have those good systems in place, then you have a better quality of life all around, I think.
My age group, I feel like my generation, we are kind of moving back towards that. Like, people do want to know where their food comes from, and are getting kind of tired of the way things are, fast food and things like that. It's food is becoming more important to know about. So I feel pretty privileged to be kind of on the edge of that, and be like helping to grow that movement, I guess. Especially here in Tennessee and in Cookeville specifically. Even it's there's not a ton of farms, and there's not a lot of young farmers, so it's a good thing to be into.
Like, there's all kinds of social media now, and it's easier to communicate than ever. So I think people are not so isolated as to everything that's going on. And I think when people like me, or who start working in organic farming or whatever, or people who visit these farms, that's when you see how rewarding it is and how cool it is. So you start telling your friends, and people get into it. Yeah.